if you're following the P. Diddy story, prepare to be horrified. Prepare to be horrified beyond your wildest dreams. Okay, so here's the latest thing Jaguar White has been telling us. Jaguar White, if you know who she is, she's a lady who's speaking her truth at the moment. She's naming names. She's bringing receipts. She was part of his inner circle for a while. She knows what went on, and she's telling everyone that will listen. Now, she claims that the new movie that's out, Blink Twice, with Channing Tatum, and if you've seen it, we'll get into that in a minute. If you've seen it, it is disturbing. It is disturbing to say the least. She is claiming that if you go watch that, in her opinion, that is a complete parallel to what went on at Diddy's parties. Okay, take a breath, because that was horrifying enough. Now, if you haven't seen the movie and you're going to, scroll on, because I am about to spoil it big time. I'm going to go into detail on the movie. It's a big spoiler alert, okay? So give you a second to scroll past, come back another time, let me know your thoughts. Right, so in the movie, Channing Tatum is a very influential, rich, wealthy, good-looking guy. He has parties on a private island with his pals, okay? They come over, they get drunk, they invite loads of girls and, you know, celebrities and stuff. They have a wild old time. Seems like they're all having a good time. They're partying into the night. They're taking all kinds of D's. We're just going to say that. We're not going to get ourselves banned from TikTok. They're getting up to all kind of shenanigans, right? The girls are all making out with the guys and what have you. The next day, they're all hungover, like, oh my God, it must have been a good night. Can't really remember it. Must have partied too hard. They party every single night. They're on the island for a week, 2 weeks, whatever. They party hard every night. And then something happens. Some of the girls are waking up with bruises and cuts and scratches and dirty feet and stuff, dirty fingernails. And they cannot remember for the life of them what happened the day before, but they are feeling terrible. And they're thinking it's just like a hangover from the night before. Right. The guys all seem nice, charming. Then girls start disappearing, okay? 2 girls disappear. So let's try and cut it a little bit shorter. In the end, they discover that they are being dosed up by these guys. They've been given all kinds of drugs, like a sort of rohypnol kind of thing, so they have no memory of what they've done. And what they do to these girls at these parties comes back in flashbacks. They become aware that what is going on around them, and they find themselves at the parties but fully aware, fully alert. And these guys are not just taking advantage of them. These guys are fulfilling fantasies. There's torture. There's all kinds of sick, sadistic stuff going on. And these girls have no memory of it in the morning. Now, we do know, because it's been documented, that apparently Puff, after his parties, with his SA workers that he'd hired, or stolen, or kidnapped, or kept against their will, whatever, these parties would go on for days, okay? And these people were there to service whoever was there, the rich and the influential. And at the end of these parties, we heard that he would sometimes arrange for these people to be put onto drips, to re-nourish their bodies, to make them healthy again, to give them their energy back, to make them well. What did you do to somebody who's young and healthy and attractive that they needed to go onto a drip at the end of the party just to feel human again, get their strength back? Now, I could probably go into this in a bit more detail, but I won't. One, I would suggest, if you've seen the film, think about it. Think about that. We know that Hollywood's very good at making up stories. We know they can do a blockbuster and we go, what? We walk out and we go, that was disturbing, that was super uncomfortable. But it's just a movie. It's just a movie. Walk away, forget about it. Well, what if it's not just a movie? What if she's right? What if this is actually what happened at his parties, at his freak-offs? It's not just a Hollywood story. Maybe it's the inspiration for some Hollywood stories. Either way, there's going to be a lot of people quaking in their boots right now. There's going to be a lot of influential people wondering what the hell he's got on them. How many of them were actually videoed? Apparently loads of videotapes have been found. And, you know, it wasn't just the rich and influential doing this to people. Apparently some of those were having it done to them. Sometimes they knew they were going to do it because it was going to progress their career. Sometimes they were unaware. This is the allegations coming out now. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is true? Do you think this is all some sort of insane conspiracy theory? It cannot be made up. Jaguar White is speaking her truth right now, and she doesn't care what she says. She's got to a point in her life where she's like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. I'm going to bring them all down. What names do you think should be worried right now? Drop them in the comments. I am interested to see who you think is involved in all of this. I'm interested to see if you believe that this movie is a complete parallel to Puff Diddy's parties. Perhaps it was actually based on him, and they knew what they were doing when they made it. Like I said, absolutely horrifying. Beyond anything you can imagine. If you've seen this film, and that's what's going on, you have every right to be horrified. And all these conspiracy theories about all the elites are doing this, that and the other, and we're like, come on now, really? Makes you kind of think. You guys remember the movie Hostel? And you thought, oh, can you imagine if rich people were really out there paying for people to torture just because they could? And you're like, Hollywood's crazy, the things they come up with. Are they though? Are they? Get in my comments, tell me if you're a fan. Tell me if it's all absolute nonsense, or tell me what you think really went on at those parties. And do you think Jaguar was telling the truth? And if you've seen the movie, well, I've got to tell you, it was disturbing and hard to watch. The end was very disturbing. I don't know what else to say now.